Dr. Tilak Shrestha sir, welcome to the Gorkha Spirit.
Thank you very much. Namaskar, Tase Delik, Jozalapa, Sevaro and all the good stuff. Namaskar.
Kashmir issue, Kashmir incident or Kashmir terrorist attack. How do you define this?
Let me give you a very brief history of the Kashmir conflict between India and Pakistan, and then I will talk about the motivation. The Kashmir, the issue came out of the independence of India and Pakistan from the British rule. So that one we're talking just in a brief case. But the real motivation behind all this terror attack is the Islam, the religion of Islam. So it's coming directly from there. And people don't want to talk about this. So they like to talk about nationalism and ethnicity and all kinds of geopolitical issues, but none. They are all very, very minor issues. The real problem is the political motivation of Islam itself. So that's a core issue. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But meanwhile, let me quickly go through the Kashmir issue as it unfolded. When British was in India, there were like almost 562 different Indian princes, principalities, and all the kings and all that. But they were not sovereign nations. And so in August 15, 1947, when India and Pakistan became independent out of the British colonization. Now let's not go to the technical detail, otherwise there's dominion, all kinds of stuff. So let's not go to that one. And all these principalities of the princess states, they have to decide either join India or Pakistan. And so they have to decide, and that decision solely depends on the king or the prince. So nobody has to say. So that means in the Kashmir, the king of the Kashmir was Hari Singh, the king Maharaj Hari Singh. And at the same time, the biggest the party in that one called then was called Muslim Conference, which later called the National Conference. That was later on. And the chief of that one is known as Mr. Sheikh Abdullah. So that was the setup. So here's the Kashmir, the king is a Hindu, but the majority Muslim. That was the setup. And since the Abdullah and the king Hari Singh, they want to make the Kashmir independent nation, not part of either India or Pakistan. So what they did, let me give you number here. In August 12 of 1947, the Hari Singh requested both India and China for so-called standstill agreement. So, we have not decided yet, so please give us some more time to decide. So that was the case. And so Pakistan agreed 2 days later. So Pakistan agreed on August 14th, 1947. And India replied, let's do study of the proposal. So they have not decided yet. However, they were not negative out of that. They simply said, give us some more time to study the proposal. So in that setup, then here comes the problem. In October 22nd, 1947, Pakistan attacked Kashmir. So that's where the whole problem begins with. And then basically the setup was the Pakistan army would stay behind the front. They will have all kinds of different tribal people, and then they attack. And then there's like a major amount of looting and raping. It happened. In the Baramulla, there was a Catholic church. All the nuns were raped to death. And later on, like Rajouri Kand and other Mirpur Kand, 20,000, 30,000 Hindus and Sikhs were massacred and raped. And when they did that, their first target is non-Muslims, like Christians and Hindus and the Sikhs and other one. But it does not stop there. They also rape and loot the Muslims also. That was the overall win. That's where the problem was. And the king could not stop this aggression. So king asked India to help. He said, well, it's up to you. If you want to join India, we will. Otherwise, that's your problem. And so the Hari Singh, with the support of Abdullah, they joined India. So that's called the ascension, the agreement of ascension. So anyway, let me give you the number. The king joined in, when was that? Just a minute. Kashmir. Well, anyway, around that October, the king joined India, right? So that was the end of the story. Now, once Hari Singh joins India, then the whole of the Kashmir became the part of India. That was the agreed rule before the what's called the separation of, the independence of the India and Pakistan. So that was rule. But by the time Indian army went, the Pakistani army has already occupied part of the Kashmir. So it's about 1/3 of the Kashmir they have applied. And then the Nehru, the Prime Minister of India, said, okay, let's not fight too much of this one. So there was a, ceasefire, and then Jawaharlal Nehru took the case to United Nations. And he took the United Nations Security Council. And this United Nations Security Council passed the so-called resolution number 47. So let me give you that number on that. Yeah, this is the King Hari Singh signed Instrument of Accession and joined India on October 26, 1947. And then it went to UN Security Council, and the UN Security Council passed resolution number 47 on April 21, 1948. And in that one, there are three provisions. Number one, withdrawal of all the Pakistani forces from the whole of Kashmir out. That's number one. And then number two, India to keep minimum forces for the law and order. And the third, to have a plebiscite or referendum in Kashmir under the supervision of United Nations. That was the three resolution passed, so-called the resolution number 47. Now, this was accepted by India, but was not accepted by Pakistan. So here's the problem. But at that point also, what problem was that somehow the West, say Americans and British, supported the Pakistan. That's why there was a sort of like a fuzzing the issues and kind of stuff. But these resolutions are very clear on that one. And so the Indian forces and the Pakistan forces is come in the Yellow Sea, so-called line of control. And in the West, Pakistan still occupies 1/3 roughly, and the rest is within the India. And the small part still now is with China also. That's a separate issue together. Now in 1965, Pakistan again attacked. And so that was in 65, then was Lal Bahadur Shastri was the prime minister. So they went to the Soviet Union, as there was some kind of agreement. And again in 1971, that was a case not exactly of Kashmir, but about the East Pakistan or through Bangladesh. Now this is a little fuzzy because I don't want to go in detail, but technically speaking, only technically speaking, otherwise India is also involved in that. In December 3rd, Pakistan attacked. And then what happened was the Pakistan got the message that it cannot win India by militarily. So then it moved to terrorism. That's where the whole terrorism starts from that point onward. And then again, 1999, Pakistan attacked in Kargil. So the Pakistan was telling the Americans that Pakistan helped the United States to destabilize and for the Soviet Union. So now your turn for us to help to take over the Kashmir. But then the US did not agree to that. And so the Kargil was done with, and India somehow able to chase the Pakistanis off in 1999. And then again, because Pakistan cannot attack India militarily, so the terrorism, that's how they try to do terrorism. So they have a theory called death by 1,000 cuts. You know, that you cannot attack directly, so you keep on here and there, and you cut here and there. And so the whole idea of terrorism comes from that, because you cannot win India with the military action, so it goes to terrorism.
So it means the attack in Kashmir region to the tourist. So do you think it means, you think that it is a terrorist attack?
It is very clearly terrorism. And also, when they were killing people, they said 26, it was 27, 20, something like that, and about maybe 100 people got injured. They were looking for Hindus. So they will ask, are you Hindu or Muslim? And if somebody say, I am Muslim, then can you say Kalama? That's the prayer, Islamic prayer. And if you cannot say that, it means he's a Hindu, not a Muslim, and they kill him. So it was very clearly they were targeting and killing Hindus, simple as that, right? So all kinds of stuff, things like, oh, it is about freedom and freedom fight. No, they're all totally nonsense. I mean, clearly, if it is about Kashmir freedom, then the Hindus and the Muslims of Kashmir would have come together and attacked Indian administration, Indian army. That was not the case. They were simply separating out Hindus and killing Hindus only. So that means it is about Islam, and that's why. So now from that point, then comes the motivation. What's the motivation? The Islam does not allow any other religion to exist, and they will attack whenever they can. That's the jihad, right? So that's a really problem, because Islam means ruled all over the world. They are not interested to make the religion your private affair. No, they are not interested. And the bottom line of Islam is not really spirituality. It's not adhyatma. It is about politics. It is about controlling the whole world through the one. So according to Islam, the whole world must submit to Muhammad. And the word Islam itself means submission. Now, if you are not Muslim, then you are a criminal. Simple as that. So you are a criminal and I am also a criminal. Since we don't know what it is, so they have to come and tell you very nicely, please join the Islam, because you don't know that you are a criminal. And they have to very nicely and sweetly. Okay, that's called dawah invitation. Now, after dawah invitation, if you do not join, now you open for jihad. Now here comes the problem. If enemies or say non-Muslims or kafir or infidels are stronger, you don't want to attack, so they practice called taqiyya, means to lie. Let me again repeat that one. If the enemy is stronger, then since you cannot attack, then you lie. That's called taqiyya. If the enemy is weak, then you attack. That's called jihad. Now let me quickly finish. Now, when you do jihad, you may die or you may win, right? And if the enemies or kafir or infidels are weak, then you attack. That's called jihad. Now in jihad, you may die. In case you die, then big time, then you're going to get 72 virgins for your sexual enjoyment. If you have different kinds of orientation, then you're also going to have 28 young boys, and the mountain of fried chicken and the river of wine, and you can for eternity, all the time. Now, if you win, then you can grab the property, money, and women of the non-Muslims, the kafir infidel. And then out of that, 1/5 go to the center. So the Muhammad get that, and later on the Caliphate take that, 1/5. And the 4/5, including women, are distributed among the soldiers who did fighting. And so they are called the possessed with the right hand, means I grabbed them by force. And that is your sexual, what's called that? The pleasure, for your pleasure. So imagine in the Arab times, those medieval times, if you are like 20, 25, 30 years old man, you have no family, no money, then this becomes a very, very attractive offer. You can have like either you die or you win. Both way you are better off. And that's how it spread out. It's not because of something spiritual or something kind of understanding or nothing like that. It's purely because of this kind of cardinal, the motivation. So that's how it is spread out. So that's one. So it is purely a political thing. So you cannot tell Islam, hey, you practice whatever you believe, and let me practice whatever I believe, and so let's live in peace. That does not work. Let me give you statistics. Pakistan in 1947, it used to have 25% Hindus. Now guess how much they got now? Less than 2%. In the East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, in 1947, they had 33% Hindus. In 1971, when the East Pakistan became Bangladesh, it went down to 23%. Now guess how much now? Now 6%, right? Why? Because instead, all the time they are terrorized and attacked and all kinds of stuff. In the Bangladesh recently, when the Sheikh Hasina ran away to India, and all of a sudden they started again attack, rape, destroy temples in the Bangladesh. Right now, as we speak of, right? So that's the nature of Islam. So we really have to understand, and we have to bring some kind of solution. Now in Nepal also, whenever you have like some kind of, say, our religious, the function, like, Bhagavati Jatra or the Ganesh Hanuman Jatra kind of stuff, they throw a stone at you. So what they are saying, that your kafir religion is a bad religion, And so we will not tolerate you doing something in front of us. So they attack. So that must stop.
So after this incident in Kashmir, India and Pakistan just start ready to start the fight. So the war will begin very shortly. So what do you think about this? Just like a fighting about that incident.
Now let me quickly go back to the question before. Then I'll come back jump to the question. As I said before, Islam does not tolerate any other religion, and they will attack. That's jihad. Now, plus on top of that, there is one more doctrine they have, so-called any place, any region, if once controlled by the Muslims, then it cannot be ruled by any other religion. That's the problem. Like for example, Israel, same thing. Once it was under the Muslim the administration in the one, and so that non-Muslim, as say for example Jews in one, they cannot take over. For example, Muslims do not say Spain. They don't say that. They call it Al-Andalusia. That means once it was, what's called that, occupied by Muslims or administered by Muslims. So it should come back to Muslim hand again when they can. That's same thing. So that's the one of the thing. What's the problem is same thing in the Kashmir case also. First, it is ruled by India, which is majority Hindus. Second, that once it was run by the Muslims, so it cannot be ruled by others. And then if you could directly attack, they will attack. If not, then terrorism is the way to do it. Okay, so that's the part of that. Now, as far as your second question about
the incident provoked India and Pakistan to go in the war. Is it? What do you think about this?
In my opinion, there will be no war like like a Second World War, people running with guns and tanks. I don't think that's going to happen. But in this time, India is not going to keep quiet. If you look at the earlier, like Pulwama and other cases, India did attack inside the Pakistan as a warning, so-called the warning. But this time, no. They will make sure that all these terrorists are taken care of for good. So, but in that case, my opinion, I'm not the expert or I'm not privy to what the Indian leaders decide. The way I see is India will put the army by the border. There will be all kinds of air force running around and navy going around and kind of stuff, and also diplomatically going all over, say that this is the terrorism, all kinds of stuff. They will do everything, and they also attack economically and all that. Now they said they're not going to send water to the Pakistan, and they have already stopped the river Jhelum. So that's what I heard that. So there will be a multiple one. However, they will not directly attack like with the tanks and the guns and the soldiers. Reason is, if you can get the result you want without killing lots of soldiers, why not, right? And also India's interest is not to kill Pakistanis, no. Their interest to number one, wipe out terrorists, number one. Second one is, the real problem is Pakistan does not have democracy. It has the military power doing that. And for the military people to remain in power, so one of the major excuse is Islam and India, Hindu India and Islam. So that part, India, I think, I cannot say they cannot, but that's going to be a major issue India will try to solve at this moment.
So, do you heard the Punjab army refused to fight with the Pakistani? So, what's the matter with the Punjab?
I don't know about what you're saying, because Punjab is part of India, and so there will be Indian army in the Punjab, and so if there is a war between India and Pakistan, there will be all over Punjab and Kashmir, all over places.
Indian government arrested some of the Punjabi Indian Army's officers, high-level officers. So, do you think the Punjabi, they are Khalistan? They are against the government, Indian government?
No. What happened was, let me give you a little background to that. It is not the Indian government, or it is not Indian army, or it's not the Punjab, or it's not Punjabis. Within the Sikh community, there is a minority, not a major one, so-called Khalistanis. What they are saying that they would like to make Punjab, Khalistan, a Sikh nation, separate Sikh nation, right? But the problem is, the Sikh people makes about 2% of the Indian population. And
Only
even
2%.
Only to overall Indian. And in the Punjab also, they are like, I don't know exactly, say around 50 kind of stuff. And within the Sikh communities also, not all of them are for a separate nation for the Sikhs. They are not. So the Khalistanis who wants to be separate one as very small minorities, right? And so they may try to, and they are helped by Pakistan. So they are basically supported by Pakistanis. So that's the way the problem is. So in this case, since India and Pakistan may fight or war, and so the Pakistanis telling these Khalistanis to do something about it, so something may happen. But that's a very small issue and it's not a major issue.
So we are at the end. So do you have any suggestion, or do you have any just like for the government of India and Pakistan, how they should finish this?
No, I mean, they know more than I do, and they have much more facts in their hand, and they have got all the intelligence, all the satellite images and kind of stuff. So who am I to tell them what to do? So with my due respect to both India and Pakistan, I am not in a position to say anything about that. However, what we can do is what we should do in Nepal. That's what I like to concentrate on that. Number one, we have to say absolute no to terrorism. Number two, we have to say absolute no to Islamic terrorism. That's two things. Third, we have to say, we have to teach what Islam actually is. And remember that we also suffer Islamic terrorism, like what happened in Birganj a month earlier, right? Same thing happened in Nepal and other places. So per that one, what we really have to do is to check the say poor Muslim boys. I mean, what the children knows, right? Say there are Muslim children. They are like our one children, for example, our one person. Wait, let me complete. So these children are taught in madrasas to attack non-Muslims or kafir. That must stop. So the children in the madrasa schools must be taught, if they are Nepalese after all, right? If they are Muslim, but they are Muslim Nepalese. So they should be taught our heritage, what the Buddhists talk about. Buddha talk about compassion and the wisdom, right? And all the things they have to be taught, and they should not be taught to attack the non-Muslim. That should be very clearly. And so what madrasa school teaches, the government must be very aware of and control right there. That's point. We have to be very careful on that, because if you tell 100 children, the innocent children, to attack non-Muslims, that 51 understand, 25 don't care, 50 have no idea, and 10 say, I should have done it, but I can't do it. But out of 100, even 2 children really believe and wants to try, then you have like ready-made terrorists, right? And that must stop.
So at this time, Nepalese analysts generally speculate that Vijay Kumar Chauthaiwala, he is in Nepal to seek support from Nepal to go against the Pakistan. Do you think it's true?
I do not know. Since he is here and talking with all the people, most probably so, because at this point in India, this is a hot issue. I mean, whether it's Chauthaiwala or the other wala or full wala, I still think, still half wala, whatever. And that's what he's doing. But he don't have to come to Nepal. We have to support India in this time of need. So not because Chauthaiwala tells us, not because Prime Minister Modi tells us, no. They don't have to tell us, because this is the issue of justice.
Do you think they need support of Nepal?
No, I don't think they need Nepalese support. But what happens is, in diplomacy, the India will talk with all the surrounding and everybody else. So this is the terrorism. So that if you have got any questions, do you have any question? Otherwise, we are suffering terrorism, and this also to find out who will really support and who will not support, who will just talk about that. For example, Turkey is supporting Pakistan, right? And others. So this is about going around for diplomacy. So this is one of the technique of other than economic and political and all kinds of stuff, like stopping water and all that, even like applying the warplanes kind of stuff. So this one is about diplomacy, aggression, attack. And so this is part of that. So what I'm saying is, from outside, I'm talking about Indian side, from outside, Mr. Modi or Mr. Chautawala don't have to tell us. We should come up and say, hey, India, we support you. We're not going to tolerate, the terrorism. And that one, you don't have to tell us. We will do that. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for joining with us.